Another day, another game. Nexus contest continues, and we have Russia going up against Poland, and there's a lot riding on this particular series. Keep in mind, we're looking currently at the 4-team group that has Portugal in it, and Portugal forfeited the tournament already because they had problems with their team. I think they lost their tank player. So right now, Russia won against Ukraine, but Ukraine won against Poland, and this is going to be the last match of the group. So if Russia wins this now against Poland, then it means that the Ukraine and Russia both will advance out of the group. But if on the other hand Poland takes the series against Russia now, then we could be in a pretty weird tiebreaker here. So we'll see if Russia can make this happen right now and advance as first in the group, and then Ukraine would take the second spot, or if we're going to have things shaking up a little bit. Towers of Doom is going to be our first map, as you can see. And we have, again, a heavy ban pattern against the front line with Diablo and Garrosh. Maiev also, again, eliminated. Haven't seen her played once yet in the Nexus contest. But yeah, good to go. So let's see. Hanzo has the first pick. Ona! Ona! I would still expect Tahaka to make maybe a bit of an appearance. I like that we saw the other day Samuro even being played, because he's still pretty powerful on the map if played correctly. But here's that Tyrande and a Nubarak again. Interestingly enough, it's not picked by the Russian team, but it's actually picked by Poland, because Russia already played that Nubarak style a couple of times in the series against the Ukraine. And it's starting to become more and more popular here. With the Nubarak, you still have to be a bit careful. I mean, we've been going over this time and time again, but he can be vulnerable if he misses the initial stun when he tries to move in and does not get the connect. And we're going to see how they're going to handle that. Tracer already on the side of Russia, so trying to pressure Tyrande a little bit. You have to be careful with that, though. If Hunter's Mark is applied, Tracer can actually even lose that one-on-one there. But a Nubarak and Tyrande is, of course, again, you want to go in, you want to get the kills, you want to snipe. The poor man's Nubarak would be a variation with Taunt, which is a little bit easier to execute, but doesn't quite offer as much as the Nubarak variation. But when we're talking about potential plays on a bit of a lower level, that might be something to consider. With Tracer on the board, Tassadar gets banned out, so a bit afraid or weary about the opponent going into a double support composition with Tracer. But we don't see a tank yet. Auto attack, banned out immediately. Tracer doesn't like that. Another thing that Tracer doesn't really like too much is a Thrall on the other side, so we could potentially see that. If you have a point-and-click damage skill, like, let's say, for example, Chain Lightning, then Tracer can be pretty much annoyed by that too. So that might be an offlaner for them. Personally, I would still like to see Blaze, maybe Tyrael, but not really the best for the map. You want to have someone that has the wave clear to go take 2 lanes, so Blaze would be a good option for them. Cassia and Zeratul. Zeratul can solo lane as well at the beginning, and he can also go for the rotation. Now, obviously, you would want him to be part of the 4-man, or at least roaming the map a little bit more. But if in a pinch, we can put him there. But this is actually an interesting setup that they have. Cassia might go into a Fent build with that. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Lightning Fury builds. But with this particular setup and a Nubarak and Tyrande setting her up, Fent could really be the option here. Russia, on the other hand, they still need their solo laner, they still need a tank, and here's the ETC and Tyrael. Alright, the rotation is going to be a bit weird for them, the double soak on lane. That should be Tyrael that makes that happen. ETC after level 7, if he goes into Echo Paddle, has a bit more wave clear and can also play around that. We'll find out what they're going to do there. But what's the offlaner on the side of Poland, what they're going to play with? Again, Blaze, big option here. Thrall, still another variation. Arthurs, I like the Arthurs more and more on the offlane, to be absolutely honest with you. I would have loved to see a Blaze happening here, but I have nothing against Arthurs there either. So guys, game number 1, we're heading into the match between Russia and Poland. Gonna find out which team takes the lead here in the series at the Nexus contest. Game number 1 between Russia and Poland starts off on Towers of Doom. And to the left, for the Russian team, we have Farlander on Hanzo, we have Stalk on Tyrael, Kolya Martian on Malfurion, Toxic on ETC, and Mr. Banana Beer on, or Banana Beer on Tracer. Banana Beer is like much better. It's actually quite nice, at least in summer. To the right side of the map, Lavakal on Cassia for the Polish team. We have Diala on Tyrande, Harpoon on Nubarak, Moram on Zeratul, and Go Terror playing Arthurs. So let's head into the game and see who's going to take the lead here. In terms of builds, we're having Proc Rock on level 1 for ETC. And we're already starting with a Lightning Fury build for Cassia. That being said, Nuburak himself already starting with a bit of a carapace focus here, with him going into the Nerubian armor. So maybe a little bit weary of that damage coming from Hanzo, but especially the bomb on Tracer is something that he can to an extent negate with this one. So we're gonna see how exactly that's gonna work out for him. The Nuburak again can be fantastic if you initiate, you set the play up, then you can have a huge impact with it. If on the other hand you miss your stun or you get engaged upon, you're a little bit more on the weaker side compared to hit point heavy tanks like Diablo and Garrosh. But that being said, both of them were obviously banned out. So Stork currently has the main tank, which means that ETC is holding the top lane against Terror. ETC is going to have a rough time soaking two lanes, so the traditional rotation between the top lane and the mid lane is something that we're most likely not going to see too much for them here. But then again, after level 7, if you go into the Echo Paddle, there's a good chance for you to make the plays yourself and just have that wave clear added to you. So I would assume that is going to be the adjustment that they're going to make here, but we're going to find out as the game progresses. Camps are taken. We're still pretty early in the game, not really a lot of aggression, and once more, keep in mind there's a lot hinging on this particular series, since there's only 3 teams left in the group with Poland spanning. Already the attack against the Nuburak, he's low, and Banana Beer wants the kill, goes in deep, doesn't get it, and moves out, just barely in time. Zeratul jumping away too. The camp was still stolen though, so they get the camp, at least that, but no kill in that particular setup right now. So an interesting one for sure. Very aggressive play from Russia here at the beginning, and they could have gotten the kill against the Nuburak. They nearly did. Forced them to tap, make the defense a little bit more difficult down here at the bottom of the map. Level 4 talents now coming in too. When you're looking over to Hanzo, he's going straight with the target practice as his level 1 talent, so Stormbow focus from him with a level 4 coming in right away on the explosive arrows. So really just going for a little bit more wave clear with that at this point. And Nuburak not fully speccing into the Carapace either, by the way, instead heading straight into the Underking as a level 4 talent, and that means Subterranean Shield will very likely follow on the level 7, so that you're getting that additional safety when you try to go in deep. Of course, the Lunar Flare stacks coming in from Tirana pretty soon. ETC still struggling against Arthas, and he will for a bit longer until he hits his level 7 and gets Echo Paddle. But the bot lane is already pressured pretty significantly. The entire wall lost, and a pretty decent job by the Russian team to establish a bit of a dominant bot lane. Cassia is still poking. Nice attempt to go for Tracer, but unfortunately not really synced up here from the Polish team. They can't get the attack. The altars are on the map, triple, and to the top. That means that we're having an even exchange. Even an interrupt here happening against ETC. Well played by Zeratul, and that is a really weird offset. All of a sudden, we're fighting over 2 remaining ones. Arthas is moving in 2. At the bottom of the map, there's a bit of a battle happening as well, as Farlander comes in. Good hits coming from Hanzo, trying to go for Zeratul here. Zeratul barely jumping out, and this should still be an altar for Russia. And they get another one here as well. That's a nice pose. I've never actually seen that here before. Alright, shots even with a little bit of a beak. I never had any idea that those looked like actual skulls. Interesting. Pretty cool too. So yeah, with that obviously, the altar down to the bottom of the map has been channeled, and therefore Russia is going to take the lead now, since they were able to push not only Terran as Arthas, but also Moram and Zeratul back. So the altar is up for the taking here at this point. Down to the bottom of the map, you can already tell that this 3-man was not able to grab the altar, so they're struggling a bit establishing something here. But then again, if you're looking at the setup right now, we're having 12 stacks already on the Thunderstroke, so this is definitely something that is slowly and steadily going to get completed. Cassia is pretty fantastic with the poke damage, but as soon as she completes this quest, once she has the synergy with her level 13, her level 16, then the build really heavily comes online. And when we're talking about late game potential, then we also have to point out Zeratul again, who obviously, through the Void Slash on 16, is going to become pretty powerful. When it comes to the damage so far, we haven't really seen all that much yet in terms of fights, but already Cassia with 8,300 looking very, very strong for the team here. And it's really just a question of how good are you hitting those Lightning Furies. If you're pretty decent with those, you're going to be quite fantastic with that particular setup, because later on, as I said before, through the cooldown reduction, through the pierce, you're going to be able to just poke very, very heavily And of course, in a lot of these battles, this is going to play a massive role for them. That being said, though, when we have the level 10 abilities coming in, the way that this is played out right now, Toxic is very likely going to go into Echo Paddle and then even Stage Dive, since he will still be able to get the top lane experience and jump with a pseudo global into those fights. Given the amount of interrupts that we have and also the map, I don't think that Mosh Pit would be the variation that he goes for. Another interesting thing here also with the overlay, APM is not quite what interests us, but we are going to have a bit more of a closer look into the XP gains in the future. You can already see that it has a slight discrepancy between the minion experience that we've seen from the two teams. Some of that will definitely be evened out once that waves are soaked, but in other games we've oftentimes been talking about how just zoning an opponent out from a particular wave can be extremely powerful for you and can help you to get a slow lead in the series, and this is something that can definitely be shown with that as well. Now, as I said before, we're going to experiment a little bit more with the observer interface here. I'm pretty interested in what you guys have to say about it. The HGC interface obviously has a couple of advantages too, but the early ops that we used in the past before HGC is also quite powerful. There's pros and cons for both, but it would be really interesting to hear what you guys have to say about that. With that in mind, now we're just going to wait until the next game is going to come up here. And yeah, before that happens, also another quick info, especially for the people watching this on YouTube. There's a lot of comments that pop up where people ask how they can actually support the channel. And I think especially the YouTube audience is probably not quite aware of that. But if you actually have an Amazon Prime account, you can link that with your Twitch account and then every month subscribe to a streamer. So that's one way how people can actually support without having to pay anything. So it's a pretty easy way to support any streamer, not only me obviously, for absolutely free, but you have to renew that sub on a monthly basis if you want to continue to do that. But yeah, for the YouTube audience, it might be something that is interesting. I don't think a lot of you guys know about that. The Twitch stream is linked, and usually when we have VODs coming in from certain players, or even for Warcraft 3 for example, there's also the Twitch streamer himself linked. So if you have an Amazon Prime account and you want to support some of those streamers, some of the players, or me, then you can definitely do that through a free Twitch Prime. With that being said, game's back online, and let's find out who is going to take the first kill, because so far we haven't seen one. Yeah, seeing again that aggressive play from Stock though, double checking what's happening here with 3 heroes already. And there's a 4th one rotating in, so unlikely that we're going to see a commitment from Stock. But they're still thinking about it. He's dodging a lot of the stuns here too. Doing a great job with that. And now we're having again the push through the bot lane from the Russian team. Trying to get those kills in. Level 7 talents are ready, and yet, as predicted, Echo Paddle for ATC to have the additional stage, the additional wave clear. If you want to play him on the off lane, it's a mandatory talent. If you play him as the main tank, we're talking about a bit of a different build here, usually more of a face melt focus. And Nuburak missing the engage, the immediate move out by Tyrael, or the attempt at least. He was already low, but now the turnaround attempt as we are seeing Tracer going in, missing the bomb unfortunately, not quite connecting with it. And Arthur's already rotating into the middle. Both of them are really heavily dancing around each other here. I mean, it's really something. Not a single kill yet, 5 minutes into the game. Definitely quite the tricky situation here, since both of them know very well how much hinges on this particular match. If Poland wins, then Russia would not be ready for the next round just yet. With all the CC that we have from both sides, of course, Nature's Cure now, the talent that we are seeing on Malfurion. Even exchange, by the way, in the altars again, one to the left, one to the right. And also the Celestial Attunement for Tyrande. But we're having more and more stacks coming in for Cassian now, sitting at 18 already, so doing fairly well with the progress. ETC might be in a bit of trouble, still on cooldown. Howling Blast is there, and that's the first blood. Down goes ETC, the offlaner for Russia, is in trouble, and they're trying to go for Farlander as well. The lockdown is there, more goes in, and they get the kill. Nice, the Singularity Spike connects. Zeratul with a kill, and 2 down at the top of the map. Great and fantastic start here for Poland into this now, after initially they lost one of the turrets. Tyrande, on the other hand, gets completely wrecked. Damn! Looks like Banana Beer was going in deep for this one and able to take them down. Great job by him. Tracer with the bomb and eliminating, at least with the counter kill, or one of the heroes at the bottom of the map. Heroic ability is in, and yes, it is stage dive for ETC, as already assumed. And we are having also Valkyrie taken. So with all the tunnels coming in as a potential setup, we're seeing Valkyrie now for Cassia. Another big attack here in the middle. But Terra has just too many hit points on his Arthurs. Very unlikely to fall here in that setup. Rotations continuously from Zeratul, oftentimes to the offlane here, depending on Arthur's movements. And now more altars started on the map, and this is a single altar this time. This is where we're going to see the first big team fight, especially considering that heroic abilities are finally ready for both of them. And with that, we're also very likely going to see a little bit more Cassia play. Toxic jumps in with a stage dive, they take the camp, steal it away. Zeratul isn't here, so Poland is not willing to fight for it yet, not in a 5 versus 4. More stacks for Cassia, sitting at 22 right now. Altar is on the map, everybody rotating from the minimap here. Go Terra trying to sneak that in, but not with Toxic sitting right next to him. Zeratul about to move in. Sanctification is, of course, still ready and can be used whenever we have that play. Here comes the move against Hanzo, though, and he goes down. The cocoon was good and prevented Tyrael for helping out with a shield or Sanctification, and that was exactly the kill that Poland was waiting for. They're trying to even out the points on the core, and that channel goes through 28 for both sides. Army of the Dead used by Arthas as he's trying to follow this up. And great job by Poland, winning the altar, getting the kill, and sitting at 3 kills against 1 at this point. The bottom bell tower, on the other hand, has been lost, so it comes at a cost for sure. Bot lane control, but here comes the engage again. ETC and Hanzo are both not here. Sanctification on the ground. Tracer still trying to do a little bit of damage. The arrow comes and connects hard on Anubarak, but he's still being kept alive by Tyrande. They're trying to go back in. ETC with a stage dive, trying to connect something here. Some stun gets the slide through. They're still trying to go for the kill here. Arthur's completing his quest, but they're going straight in for Cassia. She survives too, and all of them walk away. Pretty dicey situation, to be honest, considering that there was about to be an attack through the bell tower itself, and that slow alone can, of course, wreck you. 12 versus 12 in experience right now. ETC still rotating here in the middle. And we are moving, of course, all the way up to the top now. Zeratul matching that rotation and adding his extra wave clear through the cleave to it. Poland has to attempt to recapture that bell tower, but as you can already tell, Russia is really eager to make sure that they are taking the bell tower at the bottom here, or they're defending it. They are not going to lose out on that by any means. Here comes also the level 30 now with the Thunder God's Wigger, so now we have the cooldown reduction for Cassia. It's going to make it even easier for her to complete not only the quest talent, but weave that damage in continuously. On 16, we're going to see Pierce, which will make that easier and also allows you to easily cancel a channel on the altar, even if someone is attempting to block it. Talking about altars, double altar coming in right now as we speak. Already the attack against Banabir at the bottom. Both of them just fighting for both of the altars. There's no exchange here. They go for Terror, and he's low, but the Army of the Dead has already been used, and without the kill, he's going to be easily able to replenish his hit point pool here. Going in again. The channel actually successful in the mid lane. ETC not interrupting Anubarak here, going in with a stage dive right now, but immediately stunned out. Terra's in trouble though, and he falls as ETC slides through, gets the lockdown. Void Prison against 3 as Malfurion is trying to heal them up. Stalk is following, and so is Hanzo. But obviously at this point, little can they do about that. Anubarak still falls, 2 kills from Russia against Poland. They still hold on to the bottom bell tower, and with that they are in control of 5. So even though we have an exchange in altars, it's going to be 5 shots against 3. And even the interrupt is a little bit too late. 23 against 25 points on the core right now. An advantage for Russia, but it's a back and forth game, and we have an even kill count too. So it is going to be a little bit more dicey. It's 13 with the Ninja Assassin here. So again, very heavy focus on the Stormbow talents, the level 1, the level 4 here, also lowering the trait cooldown, and still the defense at the bot lane through the Russian team. They're trying whatever they can to hold on to that bell tower, and it's a crucial one to have. From a strategic point of view, it's highly important, since both of the bottom mercenary camps will walk through the bot lane. So it's one of the most dangerous lanes if you lose control, and that's exactly what happens here. Again, they have to fill up a defense, since there's more mercenaries moving in as we speak. Here comes the attempt to get one target, but they can't quite do it. The rewind on Banabir's Tracer, it's a little bit too tough as the Valkyrie comes through. Stork is still getting poked pretty heavily. His Tyrael is falling in HP continuously. He's able to provide some shields the entire time, and they're still attempting to escort some of the mercenaries through, but it's not quite working out for them just yet. In terms of damage output, we're actually still seeing Tracer on 40,000, even surpassing Cassia now. Triple altar on the map again, and this is really the dangerous situation for Poland. First of all, this one at the bottom of the map, very unlikely that you can move in if you don't have control over the bottom bell tower. So it's very likely that this is going to be a freebie for Russia. The top left, top right though, that could be an exchange, but that would still give Russia a bit of a lead. Both of them are fighting for level 16 at this point in time and the extra talent. But the big question is, how aggressive is Poland now going to be around this? And I mean, they're going to try. Already we're seeing the exchange up to the top left and top right, but Harpoon moves in, and he's too late. He gets the cocoon in, but the shots have already been fired as the altar was channeled, so he just used that cooldown a second too late and didn't get anything for it. With that in mind, 13 against 22 points on the core, and still the bell tower hasn't been recaptured. They still have him here, so they're still fighting around left, right, and are going to attempt to poke that down with Cassia in particular. I mean, she's getting 16 now, so we should get the Pierce. Yes, there we have it. And with Pierce, she has an easy time of actually attacking the bell tower too. She just gets close enough. 16 talents on the other hand, are dropping a couple of other powerful talents into the hands of the red team, and that is in particular Void Slash. Void Slash and Epicenter too, and with the Epicenter they're immediately going for Stork, and he is getting wrecked. ETC jumps in, but that might be a bit too late. They're trying to get the kill against Cassia, and they actually do. The counter kill in play as we see Russia going for the heavy engage here. A lead in experience for Poland, but they need more than that. They need that bell tower back, and they claim it, but can they also get a kill? That's the question. They're going for Malfurion, and Nubarak is low, but Tracer has already fallen. ETC with the power slide trying to drop the bug, not happening, and there's the Void Prison. Well done, they get the kill against Malfurion. They're not stopping there, they're dropping ETC too, and it might even be the end of Hanzo depending on Terra, but he cannot land that Howling Blast in time. Great kills coming in from Poland, getting 4 kills against only 1. Well done, well played, and now another altar about to be spawning at the bottom of the map. Great job by them, really well played. Poland in general doing a little bit better on the rotations, as you can see here, the minion experience that we see from the two teams currently in their favor. And that's mostly because the Russian team doesn't quite have that wave clear to make rotations between the mid and top lane happen that easily. Farlander, a bit aggressive here, nearly falling, 300 hit points left as he comes in. Stork is also in there, has to use the Sanctification to try and stay alive. He might not get out, but gets the Druid's Might back of cooldown, so he's able to walk in after all. Malfurion also trying to rotate in now. As we're talking about this from the top, got immediately attacked by Zeratul and had to move back. 18 versus 17. Poland doing extremely well. They know that their tournament life is on the line here, and they're playing absolutely fantastic at this point, at least in game number 1 here in Towers of Doom. Looking towards the top, we still have Zeratul zoning this out. I mean, from the perspective of Poland, right, they really want to get level 20 right now. If they just soak experience and continue that style of play, it's going to be fantastic for them. But you have to really appreciate the way that they've been coming back into this after 16. It is when a big power spike hits for them through the damage that Cassia can put out. But also when you're looking over to the damage output from Zeratul, it's going to be heavily increasing from here on out. 40,000 damage for Cassia, and she's still poking as we're having another mercenary camp escorted into the bell tower. Russia wants to take it back. Here comes the ETC stage dive, a 5 versus 4. Zeratul is not here yet. Toxic is low, and he's getting sucked in by the Valkyrie. Fantastic kill against ETC, and now Zeratul is straight up in the fight too. He drops the Void Prison. Stork has already fallen in the backline, and now they're trying to make it a triple. Going straight for Tracer, but Tracer with a kill against Zeratul gets the kill in and even able to escape, but Malfurion ain't that lucky. He's going down now too, and it comes at a moment in time when we're going to see that altar in the middle about to spawn. Level 20 talents are now also on the board and have immediately been picked by the red team. Poland now with Storm talent advantage, going straight into the Titan's Revenge here, completely ignoring armor, and they're not even waiting around here for too long. It actually seems a little bit like they're attempting to go in with a Nubarak, spawn a couple of beetles, soak the tower shots, go for the bell tower, and then start the channel. They're trying to race it down, but Arthur's, is it cancelling? No, he's not. They're playing it safe. Could have tried to cancel and wait for the bell tower at the bot lane to be taken, but obviously you allow your opponent then to respawn on the map to maybe delay you a bit, and they didn't want to take that risk, so they're playing it a bit safer. 14 points on the core now against 13, and Russia might lose a little bit more. Yep, 1 shot fired, 2 shots fired as the mercenaries are going in, and that all of a sudden puts Russia behind by 1 point. Russia behind right now, and the question for them obviously, how do we play this? Do we wait for 20? Do we try and engage a little bit earlier? Do we have an insta-kill somewhere here? And it doesn't really look like it. Poland is playing a strong game now. They struggle in the mid game, they struggle in the early game, but now with level 16 and level 20, they really turned up the heat, and all of a sudden there is so much pressure on the Russian team. Once again, going through the bot lane here, trying to move in, ETC using his global to get some experience at top. Great move against Malf, and he's instantly dead. No chance after we've seen the Valkyrie come through. Gets blown to pieces within a second. No chance to react from anybody on the side of Russia. A fantastic kill for Poland again. Even more map control now, but Russia has just now taken their level 20 and has now Storm Talons, which gives us the bullseye of Hanzo, so he's trying to get that mini stun in here as well, if he can land that properly. Also quite important on ETC's sides, death metal, so you have to be a little bit careful when he stage dives in. You can still be caught in that mosh pit if you aren't too careful. Talking about getting caught, here comes the kill. Yeah, the last one goes in, but oh, the double, the triple. Cassia, Tyrande, and Arthur's fall as Toxic jumps in. Absolutely perfect stage dive, hitting everybody here. Poland goes in and gets a kill, but then ETC turns it around. Well done by him. I don't think Zeratul's gonna fall. Oh, he is. Nope. What? No way! No way! Zeratul, no way! What? Zeratul gets away and they kill Tracer. Unbelievable. Less than 100 HP for him. 10 versus 10 points on the core now. The bell tower at the bottom gets attacked, and an unbelievable kill here. Tracer a bit too greedy, and let's be honest, who can blame her for trying to move in and get that kill? Zeratul was basically dead, but he dodged a couple of attacks. The stun with the bullseye from Hanzo did so well. But as it happens, it's just not working out for Tracer. She goes in deep, she's not able to get the kill, and then Anubarak turns around and takes her down. Well played, well executed. Game is just nuts. 13 kills against 8. We have 13 kills against 8 in this game now. Boss is of course up as well. And we're dead even. We are dead even in this game, and they're trying to go for ETC. Yeah, slide baby slide. They're not going for boss. They're not risking it. Guys, it's dead even. Four bell towers against 4 bell towers. And at the same time, that is a late start on the boss. I'm not so sure about that move. Could have started that a lot earlier and decided not to. Wow, I can't believe that they're actually committing to this. They're trying to go for Stalk here. But this is a bit weird that they're still keeping that boss. When Tracer was down, they didn't attack it. But now that it's a 5 versus 5, they actually go for it. And they're trying to bait the fight. They had vision at the bot lane, granted, so they know that it's a bit delayed. But yeah, they're moving away from this. That was a pretty scary moment here. That could have backfired really hard. But now we have level 20s, just as we have another double altar spawning for both of the teams. So 2 altars on the map, and that could nearly be game. You win a fight here, grab 2 altars and go to the boss, and the game's over. So if you win a big team fight, that could be it. If they exchange altars is a different story, but let's see how this is going to be playing out. Already the channel attempt from Terra going up against Tyrael now. ETC comes in, Anubarak barely moving out. Dyla on his Tyrande with the immediate stun onto the bullseye there. And we have Banabir starting to move in again as Terror and Stalker still fighting this out. Channel attempt from ETC. Toxic is going for it. Still also an attempt to zone them out from the middle, where we have now Tracer joining the fight, trying to go for Terror here. But we have Zeratul moving in and dropping Tracer. Maybe it's going to be close. Tracer is low. Where's the hit? There it is. But Lava Color misses it. But he gets Malfurion. Goes for Malfurion. There's the Void Prison in the back to isolate them. ETC comes in with the attempted stun. Malfurion nearly down. Hanzo with the arrow, stunning them out. Shots fired, 4 of them. Only 2 points on the core of Russia as both of the altars go over to Poland. Poland with a fantastic late game. Not a single kill in this. Not one. Not a single kill here. But they have an opportunity now to turn this around, win a fight, and go for the boss and end it. But the bell tower at the bottom is lost. Again, the kill potentially against Arthas, and he gets sniped. Arthas goes down. Russia isn't done with this game just yet. They're moving in again. They're trying to control the bot lane. Both camps are up, and they go for them. 95,000 damage from Tracer, 69k from Cassia, and Zeratul still getting the hits in, but also with good Void Prison setups to either isolate Malfurion, to make sure that they don't get the mass value out of his ult, or just to stop someone from retreating in these fights. The cams are going to move through. Valkyrie doesn't hit anything this time. Heroes are coming back. Arthur's down for another 30 seconds. The ults are nearly ready. ETC trying to take the cam towards the left with the Echo Paddle. Needs to be careful. Stuns again everywhere. Anubarak. Oh my god! And they try to get the kill. Banabir goes in quickly, trying to get the last few hits in. Didn't have the cooldown for the bomb ready, but Anub still nearly falls. 9 points on the core against 2, and a double altar spawning again towards the top. Double altar, and we're gonna find out who wins the game right now. A 5 versus 5 with a Void Prison. They could try and sneak it. With the Void Prison, they could try and zone them out, use the Void Prison, and then sneak it in. How exactly are they gonna play it? Already, Zeratul moving in, trying to create some space. Toronto with the quest completion even. Void Prison against 2. They're going for the channel. ETC with a stage dive. Interrupts it though. But Hanzo is nearly dead. Barely survives. No, he doesn't. Zeratul jumps in and finishes him off. Tracer is also about to fall. Malfurion is dead. And Poland with a place here. Toxic. Isolated. He's in trouble. He has the death wash. But there comes also a quick sanctification as Tyrell is trying to keep them alive. Yep. Down goes ETC. The 20 doesn't help them enough. Yes, maybe Tyrell gets a kill, but that's already going to be about it. The channels have started. Tyrell goes in, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game as we have Poland win game number 1 in the series against Russia in a tense group. Great play by Poland, and congratulations to the victory here on Towers of Doom. Game number 2, everyone. Poland going up against Russia, and we have Battlefield of Eternity as our next map. I actually didn't quite think that we would be in this position, to be absolutely honest with you, because Poland looked a little bit... I don't want to say weak, because they definitely didn't, but they didn't look as decisive as they presented themselves in the first game against Russia when they played against the Ukraine. So right now, if Russia actually loses another map against Poland, that would put us into a very interesting spot where we all of a sudden have to figure out, do we have a 3-way tie? And the admins will have to clamp down on the rules then and say what exactly their rules for tiebreakers are. Because if Poland wins this, then we are in a very, very interesting situation for this particular group, especially, of course, because Portugal moved out of the group, so everybody got a 2-0 victory over them. But we're not there yet. Russia definitely has a bit of a chance. We have Tyrande as the first pick once more, but just look at those bans. Full in on the tank bans. And Nubra getting banned out now too to prevent those insta-kills from happening. We're having Maiev still banned, but Garrosh is gone, Diablo is gone, and Nubrak is gone. That leaves us on Battlefield of Eternity still with Muradin as a choice. You can still go for that Tyrael. We have Stitches, for example, in play. Had ETC, who is pretty good on this map too, if you can help him out with survivability a little bit. And of course another tank that we also have to consider with this setup here is that you can still play Johanna, who also has the blind available whenever there's a race on the Immortal. But for now we have Li Ming and Malfurion. Li Ming in general, great on the map. I would have expected maybe Hanzo to be picked over her, but Li Ming is still fantastic to get the outside poke against an Immortal if there's a bit of a stalemate in a defensive position for both of the teams. Then you either have to soak those shots with one of your heroes and eat the damage, or you just simply have to accept that your Immortal is slowly going to be poked down. Muradin and Hanzo now chosen, and that of course gives us, next to the race potential that Hanzo has, also the added stuns from Muradin and the follow-up from Tyrande. So that's going to be one of the biggest things here for sure. And that's going to make it really interesting. The thing to consider as well is that we actually had a bit of an adjustment from Russia, because Russia did not go into first pick, first ban, which we oftentimes see chosen from the loser of the previous game, but instead they decided that they want to have the map choice. So they picked the map. They wanted to play on Battlefield, and they said, okay, we lost the last game. We don't want to have first pick, first ban. It's fine, you take it, but we want to decide which map we play on. So they seem to be very, very comfortable going into Battlefield of Eternity here as the map. And they have to prove now that it's actually going to work out for them. Genji banned, as we saw Reyna banned out too, and an insta pick on Arthas and Tracer. Not even hesitating for a second. Still believing in Tracer after the last game. And we had maybe a few greedy moments that got punished, but in general, Tracer did fairly well. The damage output, as you could see on the board, was just absolutely insane. So it was pretty crazy. And, well, what's going to be the last two picks for Poland? Are they going to take this with a 2-0? What are the choices here? Offlane is still needed. And a second damage dealer, obviously, too. And next to Muradin, we get Sonya and Jaina. Lot of burst damage with Jaina now. Jaina, Muradin, Tyrande can burst the target down very quickly. Sonya really good on the Immortal too. And going up against Arthas very likely on the offlane. We're probably going to see her with Hurricane on level 4. Could see Life Funnel on 7 then. Depending on how you want to play it there, how heavily you are focused on that solo lane. But the last pick comes in, and it is Stitches, indeed, for Russia. Stitches with a follow-up Malfurion root on the ground, or the Howling Blast, and Liming gonna try and use that for target practice. But guys, we're ready. Game number 2 in the series. Poland is in the lead, and let's find out together if Russia can come back and force map number 3, or if Poland's gonna claim a 2-0 victory here. Game number 2 in the series. We are on Battlefield of Eternity, and to the left side of the map we have a Farlander for the Russian team on Liming, Stalk on Stitches this time, with Kolya on Malfurion, Mr. Banana Beer on Tracer, and Toxic on Arthas. I actually don't really know if Banana Beer means anything, but if you go for a nick like that, there has to be an extra NA in there. Always go full NA. Banana beer. Actually not the biggest fan of it, but I drink it occasionally. Can be good. If you never had it, should try it. In the hot summer, it's nice. Coming back to heroes though, got a little bit distracted here. To the right side, Poland with Dyla on Tyrande, Moram on Jaina this time, Lavakal on Hanzo, Go Terror on Sonya for the offlane, and Harpoon playing Muradin. And with Muradin, in terms of talents, we already see him with Third Wind. I like it. Not going into the stacking on level 1, but rather dealing with the poke of Liming and also Tracer a bit. So he's going to take a lot of the shots in those stalemates that I've been talking about during the draft. Also, on level 1 now, we're having Stitches with a Patchwork Creation. And just trying to make sure that you get the extra healing. It's just more of a sustainable work done that we're having at this point. So, yeah, very sustainable in those team fights. Helps a little bit, of course, also with the healing power that you receive from a hero like Malfurion, for example. Up to the top, Sonya against Arthas, and I really want to see what the adjustment on level 4 is for Sonya in particular. If we're going to see Hurricane here to dodge those slows and roots a little bit. Plenty to have on the other side, so it would definitely help Sonya to dodge a lot of the CC and really be effective there. With that being said, Harpoon is already doing a pretty decent job actually on the Stormbolts. 3 stacks, minute into the game, is really too bad, hasn't lost a lot. Good connect also on Tracer. I mean, the owl doesn't connect, but revealed her, so at least Terra knows now that there is a rotation happening. And this is actually an immediate reason for Banabir to make his way back down and say like, well, that isn't happening. Sonya already knows I'm coming, so I'm not going to get anything done over here. Let's chill for the time being at least. So, that being said, we're currently having a lot of poke coming from Russia. They're really using Liming to the best of her abilities to break through the small wall, open up a potential path towards the fountain, and also dropping the damage onto the tower itself. So a really aggressive start from them again. And that's pretty much what you normally see from the Russian teams. We've been talking about this. Eastern Europeans and teams in general really like to fight. Since Heroes of the Storm was a thing, they love to fight. I mean, back in the day, Stork's team, for example, did the 5-man blood for blood combo that was incredibly powerful. And to an extent where Blizzard even nerfed the talent because they said, hey, Blood for Blood is just way too strong. If you have 5 heroes playing around that, they can just instantly nuke anyone. It was a pretty crazy time. And it was so dominant that a lot of heroes of the Storm Pros at the time were pretty annoyed with it. But when it originally came in, it really showed a lot of creativity and ingenuity from the Russian teams when they were trying to go for the aggression. So, good old times. Must have been like 2016. Great hook against Hanzo! Wow! Not quite sure how that connected, but yeah, Hanzo trying to jump out, gets still hit by the hook, and then Malfurion is there with the trust. Immediately trusts for Stork to connect with the hook, has the roots on the ground, no chance for Hanzo to walk away, and that's a fantastic kill at a great time, and they use it to break through the entire wall. Easy peasy. Mirrodin getting attacked, barely moving out, and now of course the attacks coming in again, time and time again against the red team. Russia is a little bit mad. They poked the Russian bear and Mother Russia is out for revenge right now. The first game was not quite what they were hoping for, and obviously they still want to win this series to make sure that they have an easy time moving out of the group in first place. If they lose now, that's going to be put into question. And they want to have the easiest time to make sure they are not falling out of the group stage. Poland, on the other hand, continues to be aggressive. We have Sonya starting to wrap around here. Halftime show. Very even. Little bit of a lead here for the red team, but outside of that, a very even setup. Oh, Barnabia low, tries to move out and barely escapes, but Mirrodin is in trouble. Toxic tries to go for the Howling Blast, but not able to land it. And that is both teams just barely walking away. Defensive position now taken by the Russian team, but we have Tracer on the job towards the left side. Very low on HP for her. Here comes Poland again, and now Birdalai trying to go in, trying to get the kill. Not able to make it happen. Terror finds himself in a lot of trouble. Still goes for the spin to win, but is not able to survive through all of it. And now Russia again in a fantastic spot to take the first Immortal of the game. As expected, Hurricane has been taken as the level 4 talent for Sonya. Even that couldn't keep her alive in the fight. So for now, we're having an Immortal. One, or is it? Should be one, maybe not. Hanzo wants to have it, and he might get it. And indeed, no! 250 hit points. The last hit comes in a bit too late, and Russia takes it, but barely. Barely taking it. Lead in levels now and talents on the side of the blue team, but not for long. We still have them with half a level ahead, and that might just be enough to go in and take this wall before the level 7 talents are ready for Poland. Russia coming in with Calamity now, obviously, on the side of Farlander's Li Ming, and that's going to be great for him too. Might be able to get a quick kill here if he gets an initial setup. 10 stacks also on Mirrodin for the time being, so still working on the completion. Talking about completion, Hanzo completing his own talent, but here's now the level 7 on the other side. And with that we have Khaldor Resistant. Not going for Celestial Attunement, instead going straight for the extra spell armor, which helps of course against Li Ming, against the Tracer Bomb, against the abilities here. Needs to help that out, but it's not enough to save Jaina. Jaina is down, and that's another great kill for the Russian team as they have 3-2-0 at this point. The wall has fallen, the fort nearly taken down too. Great position here for the blue team. Russia is playing incredibly well here in the early game. Still playing around Stitches, who wants to go for the hook, lands it. There's the root, and that should be a dead dwarf. He's going to try and jump out of this one, but the owl connects, and he's dead straight away. 4 kills against 0, and damn, Russia coming out swinging. It's their map choice, and you can seriously tell why. They're playing fantastic here, and they're doing a lot of work with this. Moving in the entire time, full on damage, full on aggression, hook after hook connecting, the follow-up from Malfurion, and they are running all the momentum in this game now. Going for the cams, as he just got that earlier kill, taking an easy one up at the top. Will soon hit level 10, and then can play around that and their heroic abilities. With that being said, we're having down to the bottom of the map another camp claim, this time by the Polish team, so at least they're trying to counterbalance the pressure a little bit. But now we have 26 seconds for the next Immortal, and I'm not quite sure how to tell that to the Polish fans, but there's no way for their team to get level 10 in time to actually fight for it. This is looking more and more like they're at least going to get a free halftime show for Russia, but it might even be a bit more than that. Trickle experience is of course now also going to be a thing. Passive experience, as you can already see, there is a bit of a difference between the two teams because the fort was taken out. That's something to keep an eye on for the duration of the game here. But just in general, Russia is doing extremely well here and has now level 10 abilities, as we already said. We're going to see those any second now also for the Polish team. But they're starting to really lose out on the Immortal. They're trying to pressure the bot lane, but Stork is already there, trying to slow it down a bit. The rest of the team is moving in too. They're trying to force the fight. Hook is gonna come out, hits Muradin. Wanted to go for Jaina here. Muradin eats it and is able to move away. But yeah, that could have been bad. But so far, catastrophe avoided. Halftime show is over, and now the potential fight. Level 10 abilities should be ready for that battle. They're not moving in just yet, but yep, 10 is ready for both sides now. Wrath of the Berserker, having the arrow for Hanzo. Water Elemental over Ring of Frost in a defensive position for both teams right now. Stork can look for the hook again, can try and find it here. They're going heavily for Tracer. She nearly falls and she dies as Tyrande connects the hit, and so does Hanzo. Both of them go in and they drop Tracer. She's down. Jaina nearly falling here as we have Stork going straight for the Putrid Bile, getting another deep hook in against Terror, and Sonya falls. Muradin jumps in to help out. Might have been going a little bit too deep for his own good here. He gets stunned and locked down again, and that's the end of Harpoon. 2-for-1 trade in favor of Russia, and now the Russian team going straight for the third kill. They're going for Tyrande, and she's dead too. 7 kills against 1. Fantastic position now for the blue team. They're going to claim a huge Immortal here with a lot of shields. They're already more than a level ahead of their opponent, and they can start pushing through the bot lane with this beast. As you can see here, the elimination of the fort at the top lane has already increased the passive experience that the blue team gets. So currently, if you're looking at the passive XP, they're nearly 1,000 experience points ahead of their opponent through that tickle down experience. And if they now also take the bottom fort, that would of course increase even more over time. The minion difference also quite significant at this point, since we had another wave pushed out at the top lane by Tracer. And this is a lot of XP that is going to be lost to the Polish team. Level 13 talents are soon going to be ready for the Russians, and that means they have a talent advantage, they have an Immortal pushing, they have 2 forts down, or will have in a bit. It's a bad spot for Poland to be in right now. Maybe they can start a bit of a comeback here, but their late game, is it strong enough? Well, they get the kill. Tracer is down. Again, the spear connecting from Sonya, and Go Terror with another big win. They get the kill, they lose the fort though, and Russia is still not stopping. They're going straight for Jaina, and they take her apart. Muradin is barely jumping out before the Howling Blast hits him, but it's not even over yet. Sonya moved up to the top to try and make sure that they're getting a little bit of experience and that the catapults are not wrecking that wall, but the Immortal down at the bottom of the map is still not done. They're going in again, taking the fountain. They might even take the entire keep, to be honest with you. It's going to be a close one. I mean, it has some hit points left, and there are only 4, and that might be their demise. Maybe staying a bit too long here. Muradin is already in. Farlander is on the run. They're trying to get the kill here. Go Terror is low, but he's still going straight for the spin to win here. They have a talent disadvantage, but they're trying to get the kills right now. Stormbolt hits hard, but here comes Tracer going straight into the backline. The kill against Stitches, though, and Arthur's might fall as well before Tracer is having an impact here. They get the counter kill against Sonya, though. A back and forth continuously, and Tracer is on the hunt now. She's trying to go for Tyrande, but can't go in too deep. The Water Elemental slowing her as well. 13 talents in the hands of Poland, but a tough spot to be in with both forts lost and the bottom keep having taken a ton of damage too. It is a tough one right now. Russia wants to win this series. They want to advance out of the group, but Poland knows that their initial win in this best of 3 gave them a great opportunity to at least tie the score with a few teams here. And I mean, again, let's not forget, the Ukraine won against Poland, but the Ukraine also lost against Russia. So we have very interesting tiebreaker possibilities in this group, and the admins definitely will have to update that a bit later if we're having one of those tiebreaker maps, depending on the result here. 13 versus 14, 5 kill difference between the two. And let's take another quick look also at the tickle down experience. Again, if you look at the passive XP, it's a pretty big lead. That's more than 2,000 experience. of an advantage that Russia has simply because they took down the forts. It definitely adds up here. Another big fight. Arrow misses completely though, as Russia threatened to invade the camp. They haven't taken their own though. So there's only one camp on the map right now, and they're trying to defeat it immediately, so that Shaman is never going to play a role. But now we're having the position in the game with both teams on even talents once again as they're starting to fight around the Immortal. Banabir goes in with Tracer. Sonya is starting to work on the Immortal up at the top. But there's also another camp topside that they eventually have to deal with, and that's a bit of an issue. The fight, on the other hand, breaks out. Terror about to move in again, and he's just blown to pieces. The hooks from Stork are just a little bit too much to handle here. And Stitches wants to go for another one, waiting for the cooldown, running them down slowly and steadily. Everybody funneling into that choke point. That would be fantastic. The hook hits. It hits Muradin. Jaina goes down. Muradin trying to escape, but Li Ming is following him already. Bam! There's the kill. And there's another one against Hanzo. 3 kills, 4 kills. They get level 16 and a very, very easy move into the keep at the bot lane. They could even try and go for a core here if they're confident enough, but they will definitely get at least this one. The rest of the team already moving towards the Immortal, so they take one keep. The one at the top has not been damaged yet, but the wall has suffered significantly. One tower already down thanks to the the body block against the catapult, by the way, thanks to the Khazra camp. And now we're going to see them go up against 100% Immortal with a talent advantage on the other side. Not easy at all for the team in red. Russia definitely a little bit mad after the last one. They lost game number 1, but then they came back with a vengeance. Don't poke the bear, especially if it's a Russian grizzly bear, because they get fierce. This should pretty much be it. If Russia doesn't screw this up, they have so many advantages in this game right now. It would take a small miracle for Poland to win it, and well, with that insta blow up against Muradin, their chances are shrinking even more. Decent damage from Hanzo throughout the game with the 39k that he's currently running. Li Ming is at 43,000, but that's 100% shield reward. Big one. Really, really big one. And it's going to be a heavy push through the top lane. They're even starting to posture at the bottom a little bit to see if they can get another kill, but with Hanzo already using his vision, there was no way for them to invade that too easily. So they just rotated topside to start with a wave clear, which is exactly what they did, escorting the catapults in now slowly and steadily. And with this, we're having the front wall or the side wall already opened up, so there's hook potential from Stitches now coming in, opening that as an option, and of course trying to work down that wall before the Immortal even appears. If you want to go for core here, that's the best thing that you can actually do. Flank attempt from Terra, only hitting Stitches. That's not the one that you want to start to lock in. Malfurion with his ult immediately. Arrows coming out again, but the turnaround attempt against Muradin. Sonya with a spin to win, but the kill from Trace and the backline against Tyrande. She's down, so is Sonya. Li Ming is dropping Jaina, and with Hanzo dying and only Muradin, well, scratch that, nobody being alive, this is of course the end of it. Russia taking game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity, choosing the map, and for a good reason, as you can tell here. They tie the series and they bring Poland to the 3rd and final map of the best of 3 series in this match. Game number 3, and I actually double checked with the admins before we're heading into this 3rd game, and with the result as it stands, Poland is already out of the group. So Poland is not able to make it into a 3-way tiebreaker anymore, and for that to happen they would have had to win the series with a 2-0, but since they just lost on the last map, they're now out of the group. Still, at the same time, they already told me right away, don't worry, we're not going to play Murky here, we're going to do our thing. And we are heading into Infernal Shrines now. And with the first ban, first pick now happening on the side of Russia, you can tell that we had again map choice picked by the loser of the previous game. So Poland wanted to play on Infernal Shrines here. Which also means, by the way, that the Ukraine and Russia are both advancing out of this group. So we have already the first teams that are qualified for the round of 8. Bans on Zeratul and on Abathar, now that we're on Infernal Shrines. And we're seeing Diablo and Maiev taken away as we're going to head into this one. Probably pretty team fight heavy what we're going to see from the teams here. Anubarak as the first pick again starts to continue to rise in priority, and that means that we could now see either Malf or Tyrande taken away. Both are great. Malf gives you a little bit more control over the choke points as well towards the shrine, so you can play Anubarak with both. The idea is the same behind it, but one of them very likely to be chosen now by Poland, and they of course can also think about, do we want to take away a hero like Jaina, just to make sure that we get that. Tyrande and Garrosh are being picked as a combo, so with only Diablo being banned out, that left us with one strong tank after Anubarak got picked away. Tyrande as the follow-up for the stuns. And now my question is just simply, who picks Jaina? Or is Jaina going to be banned out? There are other heroes obviously that are strong here too. Can play this for example with Gul'dan, or Fear was played several times here as well. Hanzo is another strong one. We have now Malfurion coming in together with him on the side of Russia. And what are they going to ban? Is it going to be a Jaina ban? Or are we heading into side lane instead? It is the burst damage that you're usually worried about. When you're playing on Infernal Shrines, then again, Li Ming of course becomes a little bit of a discussion point, because it's always the question, hey, do we still like her here? Or are we afraid that the minions were on the shrine where most of the fights happen are reason? But yeah, Li Ming gets banned out. One of the reasons for that is that Anubarak is, I don't want to say weak against Li Ming because it's not quite the case, but Li Ming basically negates Anubarak's heroic ability completely. You can laser with this integrate the cocoon into oblivion in just a few seconds. There's always the counter argument that the beetles that are spawned by Anubarak will soak a lot of the shots from Li Ming, but in practice it's actually not that impactful. It's more impactful how much Anubarak's ult gets shut down by this integrate, so that's why we have the ban here. Phoenix taken, no Jaina. Instead we have Reyna and Gul'dan committed to from Poland. Leoric coming in on the side lane together with Anubarak here now. So let's see what Poland can pull off with their last pick. We're still in need of a solo laner. Blaze is up, could play around the Thrall here. Dehaka still an option for them too. Well, there are plenty of opportunities right now. Mal'Ganis is being played. Alright. So there is a bit of a lack of stuns outside. Well, a couple, right? I mean, there's Malfurion with a root, but that doesn't prevent you from attacking. And Anubarak has a few stuns. Hanzo has his ult. But that's definitely not as much as we had in previous games. So we're going to head into game number 3 to see who's going to take it here. Poland or Russia in the last game of this best of 3 series. Game number 3, the last and final map between Russia and Poland. It won't affect the group stage. Russia and the Ukraine are both advancing out of the group, and Poland has been eliminated after they lost on Battlefield of Eternity. So this game only matters now to see who's going to win the series itself. Towards the left, Russia with Toxic on Leoric, Fallen down Hanzo, Mr. Banabir on Phoenix. We have Stalk on Anubarak and Kolya on Malfurion. Towards the right side of the map, we are seeing the red team, Poland, with Dyla on Tyrande, Lavakal on Reyna, Moram on Gul'dan, Go Terror on the offlane with Mal'Ganis, and Harpoon on Garrosh. Talons slowly pick, Consume Vitality on level 1 for Leoric, Mal'Ganis going straight into the Winged Guard, which is one of the normal choices here. Actually, like, it deviates a little bit away from what we are oftentimes seeing here, but the physical armor that you get is pretty much awesome. So, Wingard taken as a level 1. We have Ace in the hole from Jimmy. No surprises here. And already the setup with Mal'Ganis at the top lane against Leoric. And that brings us back to that old discussion. Is Mal'Ganis a main tank? Is he a solo laner? And it shows very clearly that he can be in both camps. It was a massive discussion between pros when the hero was originally released, where most of them actually thought that Mal'Ganis had the potential to be a strong solo laner, but not quite strong enough to really be in the main tank position. But then, as the game progressed and people are starting to, or started to play around with him, they all realized and said, like, you know what, he is actually pretty good as the main tank too. He has with the Night Rush a lot of tools that he can use to create setups for his team, and at the same time the survivability, especially against teams that don't have a lot of stuns, thanks to his life leech, is pretty fantastic and can keep him alive for a long time. And as with all the heroes that heavily depend on attacking and getting life through that particular sustain pattern, you don't really want to see too many stuns against him. If you can put him in a stun lock and then burst him down, that's usually one of the big weak spots. We have that with a few heroes. But normally a Mal'Ganis player, a good one, is going to be able to get a lot of work done. Also the Echoed Corruption, of course, for Gul'dan, and he's actually hitting a few down here. That's not the only thing that's getting hit. Phoenix gets hits to the face, and the Protoss is down. That is one dead Protoss player. So the first kill immediately in the hands of the red team. Poland takes a small lead here. Talent's being picked on both sides, and Gul'dan falls here in the middle in the meantime. Whoa. Dies after he leaves the gate. So a bit unfortunate for them. Kill for a kill once more. So both of the teams definitely not wasting any time to show the aggression at this point. We have on level 1 for Anubarak the Regeneration Master taken and then going straight into the Shed Exoskeleton. So again, now that you're trying to spend a lot of time on that shrine and you want to zone out your opponent a little bit more aggressively instead of just diving in and find the kill, the build for Stork has been adjusted slightly. So we're not having Underking taken and the Subterranean Shield, but instead the adjustment on level 4 for Anubarak. So both of the builds are viable and have been seen lately. There's another adjustment that we are now seeing a little bit more often. We have Toxic going straight into the Ghastly Reach. It's a talent that you occasionally see on Infernal Shrines because you get a bit more wave clear value on the shrine itself, so that you're able to get those minion stacks quicker. But of course you give up one of your best wave clear tools. You are giving up the opportunity to go straight into Neil Peasants, which is allowing you to burn a wave down quicker. One of the big advantages of Ghastly Reach is that it makes your synergy on level 13 and 16 a little bit more powerful when you can hit more heroes more easily. Mal'Ganis, by the way, with a level 4 now, fueled by Torment here as we're heading into that fight. Harpoon on his Garrosh is low and gets attacked immediately. Indomitable just barely used to allow him to move out of the fight. They have a lead in minion stacks, but the position has been taken by Russia. They've done a fantastic job so far, pushing into that spot and now claiming the lead themselves, 23 against 20, as is Mal'Ganis again with the attempt to go in. Great double stun from Tyrande as she's hitting the numbers. Garrosh throws in Malf and he is down. Poland with another kill in the early level 7 talent. Celestial Attunement immediately taken here. They're trying to go in against Leo and he barely gets the Wraith Walk off just before the fight happens. That being said, Garrosh low, Fallen are trying to get the kill. Terror with the Felclaws trying to move away here, but that Punisher has already been taken by the Russian team, and they're going in with a kill against Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis down, the stun procced in front of the gate. Not what you want to happen for a successful defense. And now as they're trying to burn it down, the wall is already falling. The first tower about to be eliminated. The gate is dead. We're having up to the top. Leoric now pushing with one of the camps. Again, the Punisher baited in a little bit deeper, but they're easily going for the fort, trying to drop it early on in this match. Great play here by Russia. A fantastic attack by them, and they're not quite done with it yet. To the top lane, Toxic fighting against Moram here. Leoric moving away, but he was able to eliminate the fountain, eliminate the entire gate. Massive, massive value now from Russia with this first one. Nearly taking down the fort, barely saved by the Polish team, but it can be claimed at any moment later on by the Russian team. Fantastic start for them into the game here. Of course, that also results in them having now a little bit more map control, even taking the camp away from their opponent. Level 7, Drain Momentum, not going for Hopelessness, which is going to be the standard talent on this tier. But with Drain Momentum, you now get that added movement speed if you connect properly. Moram on his Gul'dan does a decent job with the 18 stacks that he currently has on Gul'dan. And towards the top side, Terror starting to now move into the lane again, trying to get the experience here. Both of them actually playing this extremely safe, not rushing out at all. Toxic finally thinks it's time to push the lane out. But outside of that, we're still seeing the earlier, or the lead in experience for the Russian team. Looking at level 10 a little bit quicker than their opponent. And personally, I would actually be shocked if they don't use the level 10 ability to get the core, the fort in the mid lane. I mean, it's the easiest one. You have 10 right now. That's when you can move into the middle and start to force a fight here. If you want the fort at this point, there is no way for your opponent to stop you. But they want the bot lane. They go in with a cocoon, their stun set up, and down goes Reyna. Jimmy is dead. Great kill again, using that opportunity. Maybe even be able to get more. Leoric, by the way, gets the fort in the middle of the map, and they're pushing through the bottom. The gate is open. Level 10 abilities are ready. There's the arrow, though. And maybe the kill against Garrosh. The salvo comes out. But that's not going to be enough to take Garrosh down. But they're still going for the fort, and they're going for the fountain. And if they get this one here down at the bottom of the map, that would be the last, or that is the last fountain that we're having on the outer circle for Poland. 3 kills against 2, the lead in experience, a fort down, so the trickle experience is going to be increased over time now. I'm highlighting this a little bit more here in the UI, but already we have an advantage in terms of minion experience for the Russian team, and now the passive experience is, of course, increased. It's one of the big changes that Blizzard put into the game, that if you take down forts, you're not rewarded by an immediate experience boost, but instead your passive experience, the gain that you get, is increased compared to your opponent. So taking all the structures down will over time give you an advantage the longer the match goes, and this is something that will be reflected in the passive experience here as well. Already a 300-point lead on XP, but as you can imagine, the more forts are being eliminated, especially looking at the top lane here, and the longer the game goes, the more this will come into play. 13, far away, considering that we're having the Shrine already spawning. It is an Arcane Punisher, by the way, that we're talking about right now. Already, Terror moving in, the stun coming from Tyrande. They're trying to set up, especially, of course, Gul'dan. That particular Entomb didn't really do too much work. They're starting to move in the bat, and the bat goes ham. Trying to make sure that they get the Carrion Swarm value. Kill against Leoric. That's the first one. Terra trying to keep himself alive, but he's a bit too deep for that. Used the Carrion Swarm maybe a bit too early. Good arrow into the backline. Trying to get close to Gul'dan and drop him. Not quite able for them to pull that one off. But Harpoon is about to fall now too. That's the 2-for-1 trade value. And Leo is, of course, going to be back in just a second. One of the big advantages of running Leoric in the early stages of the game is how low those death timers are, and that he actually doesn't have to come back from the Nexus but spawns on site. Gives a huge advantage if you're fighting for an objective, and that's exactly what happened here. 13 now in their hands, 1 fort already eliminated, and they are about to make it 2. 5 kills against 3, and Russia is looking strong here. Currently also in the damage department, 15,000 on Hanzo. Gul'dan is putting a lot of work in, as you can see with the numbers here, but the problem for him really is they are having trouble securing a kill once that target is being poked down. In terms of talents, having level 13 now in, Ominous Wraith has been taken, and Stork is continuing the Carapace build for his Anubarak, going now on the Urticating Spines too, so a little bit more damage, which helps him with the clear on the Shrine itself, but also in those 5 versus 5 battles when he starts diving in deep and trying to set up a kill for his team. Bit of a battle here between Terror and Toxic in the middle. But now 2 forts have been eliminated, and we've been talking the entire time already about how important that can be when you're looking at that tickle experience. But at the same time now, they have such a significant lead already that it's going to be tough for Poland to come back into this no matter what. Poland needs 13, and then they need to be thinking about, okay, how do we play this? Do we force a fight right now? Do we wait for another Shrine? What's going to be the play? But fights on even talents are hugely important to them, especially considering that they already lost 2 forts. And the top fort is exposed too. I mean, it isn't in dire straits, but it's still a little bit iffy. Here comes the potential attack. I was actually waiting for Leoric to see if he can turn around and land the Entomb, and actually he does. Entomb is in. That's a dead Jimmy. There is no way he survives. Not even the salvo is there anymore. But with a Cocoon on Gul'dan, that should be a double kill. They're trying to go in for it. Already the slow. There's the damage. Can they drop him? Anubarak is looking for the dive. Decides against it. There's the arrow from Hanzo. But Gul'dan walks away. 1 kill is all that Russia gets for now. But they're pushing in the mid lane. They're starting to take the wall down now. They know that Jimmy isn't here. It's a 5 versus 4. They have a 2-level lead. The stat advantage is going to give them an even bigger edge over their opponent, and the wall is down. If they can take the top lane, that would be fantastic here for them right now. 16 talents are soon going to be here. A little bit of a counter-engage attempt now. They're trying to force the fight before 16 talents are ready. They're going for Phoenix. The taunt is in. Garrosh is dead, though. Here comes the Horrify, but that might be a little bit too late. Gul'dan is down. Another double kill. 16 talents in their hands now, and that gives us the epicenter. Gul'dan is dead. The Dreadlord with the Night Karsh is trying to get away. Oh, Jimmy falls against Hanzo. Another kill, and they might get Tyrande too. The setup with the Cocoon through an Uberak, and then the quick kill. They're going straight in here. Taking a look at the passive experience, already a 2,000 experience lead for the blue team, and I mean, they are just taking no prisoners here. 10 against 3 kills going in over and over again. Good setups through the Cocoon too. They have to keep in the mid lane now. Bottom has been damaged too, and they're trying to get this as well. Garrosh is looking for a kill, but he can't even close the distance. Finally gets in. They might be able to take Phoenix down. Even he survives, though, as we're seeing Malfurion save him barely. And that's the end of Mal'Ganis. Arrow, this time, going completely through the team, not connecting with anybody. But with just 1 or 2 hits, they will drop another keep in the game. And Leoric isn't even with him. Leoric is at the top left and is taking camps in the meantime. But the keep in the middle is already being destroyed. The keep at the bottom is now down too. And this is just an absolute disaster for Poland. They're already out of the group, they know that as well, but it seems they can't win this match either. Reyna goes down, 12 kills against 3. Another attack against the backline. Epicenter value for Stork as he's trying to find the target. They're going in for Garrosh, and Garrosh barely survives. But they're not even wasting any time here with the objective. Well, it's not quite true. We have currently Leo thinking about it. Top lane, on the other hand, there's another fort about to fall, and down here the core is falling at the same time. Great play from Russia. They win the group, they take down the Ukraine, they take down Poland, and with a 2-1 victory, they win this best of 3 series here on Infernal Giants. GG, well played.